Obviously, Steph has had many, many milestones. Everything he does is a milestone. But this moment, first of all, was there a little anxiety to try to get him that 4,000th? And what was it like when it happened?
You see that last turnover I had in the second quarter? A lot of anxiety. That was a terrible pass. Yeah, I think we all kind of wanted that for him. Wanted that to happen. There was a point in the game where we all were just trying to make it happen. But, to see him cross that milestone that no one has ever crossed is very fitting. The way he changed the game, how important he made the three-point shot to the game of basketball. Happy it happened at home with the last one happening on the road. But overall, just couldn't have happened to a better person, who's been a steward of this game, the way he's carried, this franchise on his back. It's what he's done for the NBA, the league as a whole. So happy to be here to see it, be a small part of it, but more importantly, just witness greatness on a nightly basis.
DRAYMOND, since the addition of Jimmy Butler, many of the guys have specified when talking about you have been a connector for this team since the spark that you guys have been able to have. Now, since the addition also of Jimmy Butler, there's been a big question on what this means for JK and the time he gets and how he fits into that role. But he said a few minutes ago that you told him go out there and be himself, and it really helped him to settle in. What do you think about his game tonight, and how do you think he was able to kind of find that groove so fast after being off for so long?
Well, JK is a special player, and it was great to see. I think he was able to find a groove because he just played within the offense. He didn't force anything. He got transition opportunities. He took those, and he just put his head down and got downhill and made plays for himself and other guys. I think I said it before. I didn't have any worry of him fitting in with Jimmy. Jimmy's a very smart player. JK is an extremely talented player. You give smart players talent, they usually figure out how to use it, and so, but yeah, I did tell him. I also think he passed up a couple shots he should have took tonight. But it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but we just want to make sure that he understands that we need his aggressiveness. We need him getting downhill. It gives this team an even different look. When he's getting downhill, and then you got Jimmy that can get downhill. So usually one of them, I'm sure at some point or another, one of them guys are going to always be on the floor. And if you got two guys like that can put pressure on the rim the way they do, it opens up everything for everyone else. So it's no surprise that we hit, 22 threes tonight? It's no surprise because you got Jimmy and JK getting downhill, and then they're kickout threes, and so a lot easier to shoot than when the ball's just swinging around the perimeter and you got to hit the three. It's much easier when it's an inside-out three. And so with those two guys getting downhill the way they did, it opens up shots for everyone else, and we were able to knock them down.
You guys were in a groove prior to him coming back, but how necessary do you think he is, for the basketball that's coming, down the line?
Very necessary because you need that athleticism. You need that force, the force that he plays with. You need that. And, the game's going to get more and more physical as we get down the stretch and then on into the playoffs. And, he can match that physicality. He can also get downhill and use people's physicality and pressure against them. And so it's huge, man. Like you said, we've been in a groove, but I don't think there's a soul in this building that thought just because we're in that groove, we don't need him back. We needed him back in a major way. It's good to see him come back and, have a good game and, kind of put all the questions to bed, if you will. And, it's one game. Nobody's overreacting to it, but it is exactly what we thought. He come in and just play JK's game. Don't come in and try to fit in or, oh, man, I need to do this because this team is rolling. No one cares. Just come in and beat JK, get downhill, get to the rim, and, defensive end, bring that intensity. Did that, so we need him to come in to be the stud that he is, regardless of who's here. We still need JK to be JK.
You've assisted on by far the most of Steph's 4,000 threes. Do you have any particular favorites that come to mind?
Oh man, I don't have any shots in particular that's a favorite. I think one of my favorite threes to get from him is when we run, when he sets the screen for me and everybody just drop all the way back and then he comes right off and there's a hand back and the whole defense is down the floor. I think that's one of my favorites because it just completely uses against them what they're trying to use against us. And it's always like it's just an eye contact. Like I look at him, he look, and then he come flying off, you know. And so I think that's always that one is usually the most fun for me, for sure.
Draymond, this 4,000 milestone has been coming for a while, but just a few weeks ago, you guys were in 10th place, 11th place. How nice is it to have this celebratory moment when things are going so well?
It's huge. You know, if you're losing, it just kind of puts a damper on everything. And Steph doesn't deserve that. You know, like I said before, with just what he's been to this organization, what he's been to this league, he don't deserve to be losing it and have that moment. And so, you know, it's great that it comes not only in a win, but also we're winning, you know, and the vibe around his team is a lot better, the way it should be. So I think it comes at a really good time for us, for sure.
Draymond, Steve ties Al Attles tonight for the most wins for head coach in franchise history. Just how would you characterize the imprint that he's made these last 10, 11 years on this organization?
Oh, man, changed everything. He's been as important as anybody, you know, what this organization has become. You know, just I always talk about the things that he's taught me about winning. Like, it's not just me, but I try to pick up on little, small things. And there's one thing that he's taught me about winning that, especially when it comes to playoff time, that I won't share until I'm done playing because I refuse to get his secret away. But it's a pretty incredible one. And I think that more than anything, just like, you can't teach someone anything better than that. Like how to be a better winner. And just, you know, his temperament, what he brought, the offense that he brought to this organization, the atmosphere that he brought to this organization, like the family atmosphere, that was Steve, you know, bringing that. And, you know, you walk in there after a game, it's 10 kids running around the court. Like, you come into a given practice, my kids are running around, someone else's kids are running. Like, that's Steve. But in this life that we live, we're gone a lot, you know, whether you're in this gym for 10 hours, 9 or 10 hours, whether you're on the road for 14 days. And when you have a coach like that understands those things, it just makes work that much better. You know, you can bring your kid to work knowing that you miss things, you know, like that helps. Bringing your family on a plane, like you talk to some teams around, they ain't doing that. Like, that's insane. And he brought that culture to this team. All of that is a part of what you've seen, the success you've seen. It's not just guys going out there and making shots or making an assist or getting a rebound. All of those things makes a difference in a team, in an organization. And Steve came in and did that. We haven't had many this year, but we used to always have those team dinners where you could bring 20 people. Steve brought that here. Now, obviously, his Joe's pocketbook, but Steve brought that here, you know, and it's like all of those, when you talk to people that's been a part of this journey with us, and when I say people being a part of this journey, I mean friends, family. When you talk about those, the highest moments, the one thing everyone always mentions is, man, when we was at that dinner in that city, that's Steve, right? And those are memories that all of our friends have, all of our families have, we all have. And so we've been on this journey with Steve now for 11 years? The memories that, the things that he brought here has allowed us to make. It's made it that much better. I'm not sure if he didn't make it that way, because we have really been on this journey for so long, because it gets grueling at times, you know? And just having those little things that impact your mood, that impacts winning, that no one else sees, I think those things are more special than anything. So happy to see him, become number one in this organization. It's very fitting, well-deserved. And, we need to help him keep chasing the overall NBA records. That'll be good.